welcome back, folks. We got the mid-October edition of the Tiger Sports Show, where we do a rundown of everything that's going on in Tiger sports land. Fall sports starting to wind down here a little bit. I'm here, Greg Mays, your host, with my co-host and little brother, Tren Mays. How's your week, Trenner?
And that was a real groan if you listen close. It's been It's been an interesting week. A lot of hard work, but our kids are working hard and we're just rocking and rolling. I'm glad it's almost over.
Well, I got to tell you, I was going to save this for later in the show, but I have been approached by two different teachers in the last week and a half who said, "Hey, what is your brother like? Because he has been going above and beyond to help in my classroom, and I need to get him a little gift." And
I know I'm just really is.
Well, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you, but two different teachers came to me and said that.
I know who one of those is because I got a nice little surprise this morning. So save me a couple bucks.
Well, what I told him is, you really liked Snickers, but you'd be embarrassed to get them from you. So they should give them to me, and then I would distribute them when you needed it.
You don't know me very well. I can't have Snickers anymore. Can't have.
It's
candy.
Okay. You wouldn't end up with that. You wouldn't end up with the Snickers.
Yeah. So since we're gonna just real quick, I'm gonna start totaling up the money from the trips. Mom's told me how many trips you took to the store with her, and I'm gonna total up the money or the candy, and you need to. We need reparations, if I use the right word.
There's no way Mom remembers any of that. All right, let's get to Tiger football.
At least got to give me credit for using reparations the correct way. So.
Reparations, that's good. All right, Tiger football lost to Ralston this Friday at home. Pretty competitive game. Tigers still ended up with the L. What'd you think about the ball game?
Well, we were both excited for a Tiger win, and we got popped in the mouth again to start with. Took a long while to recover. But there were signs on the offense. Do you know how many first downs we had? I have stats.
12.
Times that by 2. We had 24 first downs, according to the radio.
Wow.
Carlos Espino had probably his best game in a Tiger uniform for this being his first varsity season. According to the radio guys who I listened to on the way home, he had 16 carries for 85 yards rushing, grabbed 8 more passes for 76 yards. That's 161 yards. Carlos is really getting in a groove. We moved the ball very well on offense. For some reason, our defense is our defense was really strong earlier in the year, and right now we just keep getting hit in the mouth. There's a last name called Butenbeck, playing slot, 6'5", wide receiver, senior for Ralston. He gave us fits all night. He was a matchup nightmare for our DBs.
Yeah, he looked like Dad, didn't he? He moved like Dad. From talking to the boys, he's kind of feisty like Uncle Ben a little bit. But they had 4 guys. They had Butenbeck, they had that quarterback Ackley, and then they had 2 quick little backs, and they just did a heck of a job of moving the ball around between those 4.
Yeah, definitely. It was funny. I'm not sure that I heard somebody from our side said, "Why don't you try something new?" I'm not sure he was talking about our defense or their offense, but if it's there and the quarterback could just have like 3 straight carries, but we got to stop the quarterback. And if I got that guy, I'm going to run him until his legs fall off. So,
yeah, he had some big plays. He really kind of controlled the spot in the third quarter where I thought we might come back. It looked like we could cut it to a 1-score game. Didn't quite get it done, but like you said, a lot of good things. And now we got Gehring at home. Season finale. Don't have to figure any playoff points because we're not eligible. What do you think about the Gehring game Friday? Gehring's coming in with what, 3 wins?
Yeah, Gehring beat Lex a few weeks ago, so that would be the They got rolled by GI Northwest, our friends from up 281. So Tigers just have to be ready for a tough physical game. We're going to take those shots early, get popped in the mouth. We've got to adjust, and the younger kids just get more experience. We got a nice little gift from the NSAA. We're going to be eligible next fall, playing the same schedule. And the Scott's Bluff rule is going to make that limit go up even farther to 500. So we have something to look forward to and try to build off this week and get some momentum going into the spring, because football games aren't won during the fall from August to the end of October. They're won from April to June. So we got to have those juniors and the softies. They need to get a little older, get a little bigger, and work a little harder.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. When you got a young team coming back, it'd be great to have a shot in the arm, send the seniors out, make everybody feel good, get them ready, get them excited about getting in the weight room. But the biggest thing these young kids need to understand is there's no turns in sports. Just because you're young, playing as a sophomore and junior doesn't mean you come back next year and beat people. You got to do the work to come back and beat people. And so, that's the biggest thing. I hope our kids are ready to put in that off season. All right. Well, we'll see Gehring Friday night, and hopefully we'll be talking about a W next week.
Yes. And it would be nice next year to have a quarterback back. And I think we'll have two of them. So
I think we'll have two. All right. Well, volleyball this week lost a couple games. That's put them about 3 games below 500 at 13-16. Still a team that's in the mix to get in a district final, either by winning the sub-district, which we think is going to be up at Grand Island Northwest, or by just being one of the top 16 teams. It's going to be real close. I'm not sure the girls can count on a district final if they don't win that sub-district. And if they don't win the sub-district, they're probably headed somewhere like Norris or Scott, where you're going to run into a pretty salty team, Tren. Don't you think we got to go take our best swing at that sub-district?
Oh, yeah, we need to try to get some points and try to get away from Scott or Norris, because you're talking about two programs that have produced 4 Huskers in the last 2 years. So at least 3 Huskers in the last 2 years.
Yeah. As I understand it, Nebraska's pretty good at volleyball too, Trent. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, I do like to go watch Nebraska play volleyball. In fact, they're going to start probably when this show airs on TV tonight. I will be watching that.
Oh, all right. Well, people should go split screen.
Yeah.
Turn the volume down on volleyball, watch us on the show, and watch the Huskers. All right. Cross country, Trent. Probably our best chance for statewide glory this year for a fall sport. The boys team is qualified. The girls are sending a couple people heading over to Kearney. Looks like the weather is going to be better Friday. What are you seeing on the weather?
They're talking mid-70s, but I talked to Coach Jay, Coach Johnson today during study hall last period, and he thinks it might be a little too warm to run in. And I was a little surprised by that, but I'll trust Coach Jay till the end of the day on when it's great to run in. He think, because I told him 75, and that's what they're forecasting for about 2:00 when those races would start. And he said that might be a little too warm to run in with the sun. So, but
it won't be as comfortable. That's what Coach Kreitzer said, the same thing to me in the hall. And I just hope that works in our favor. That works in the tougher team's favor, right? When it's not a good day to run. I don't know if we're going to have Austin Carrera back. Hopefully, if we do, the boys can make a run at, maybe top 5 or 6 in the state. We'll see.
Coach,
the girls, we've got Kellen Henry Perlick and Widhelm heading there, and Lily. And so hopefully they can do well and have a great day. I tell you, state cross country is a great event, Trent. This is about 51 years it's been in Kearney in a row, and you can see why. It's a great event over there.
I was telling Tracy and our AD and Coach Jay that was the best, or no, actually it's Coach Bitfield. I just told him, I said, that's the best state tournament I've ever been to. And I've been to football, basketball, baseball, such. And it was just an amazing experience when Emma ran probably 4 years ago or 5 years ago. And the fact that you got to walk through people's yards to get to the golf course. And Coach Christie, I saw her this morning when I crawled off my bus. I literally crawl off the bus in the morning, and I'm not sure my legs are all working because been on there for an hour and I'm jammed into a seat, but that's another story. But she said he's 50-50 whether he'll run. He made it Austin made it a mile yesterday. Coach Jay, same sort of sense, wasn't sure if they were going to try to push it, but they've had a great year. I ordered my state cross country shirt, made Coach Christie happy. I'll probably be wearing that on Friday, even though they won't be here. And it's just a great thing. So really quickly, I have band update.
Yeah. I talked to Coach Beebe, but what do you have about the band here?
Coach Beebe, they're going, this is it. This is the state championship. They're going to Kearney. They've been rehearsing real hard. I'm in Com Arts across the hall in Funky's room, and I can hear them practicing the medley, the Armed Forces medley for the Veterans Parade coming up. So I'll be looking for, hopefully it's not too cold for that, because I always like going to walk with the Tigers and then I walk home, living just down here. They're excited. They've been working hard. And I did have a curious question. I asked him about why, because some schools have a junior high marching band or middle school level. And I just sort of curious. And he said they've thought about it, but didn't get very far. But they're really excited for the end of the year. I watched their performance Friday. I have a little guy that is one of my kids that I go to PE with, is in the drum line. So I got to watch him on Friday night. Very impressed with that young man. And just then I listen to him every morning when I'm waiting for the bus. So just proud of all those too.
I like to take the long way when I'm walking in the building, hear the band warming up in the morning. I always miss it when the season gets over, but this is it. What Coach Beebe said to me was, hey, we're kind of a young band. All our leadership positions turned over this year. He says we really get some things done. Some days we're inconsistent. Sounds a lot like the football team. He said, really, what they need, he says, we've had some years where we could go and maybe not have our best show and still score pretty well. He says, we need to go and do our best. We need to really show up Saturday. And so good luck to the band, and I hope they get that done. All right, Trent, are you ready to work on numbers 40 through 45?
Oh, sure.
All right, let's see what we got here. Jared Horsky.
Didn't even think about that guy. We coached him. He played 2 years down at the old junior high downtown. He got a little bigger when he got into high school, but he was a pretty tiny guy when we coached him, and we had to play him 7 to 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage. But he was always getting up there and hitting stuff. He's another guy built like Bo Budenbeck. It's funny, or Ben Budenbeck. It's funny that they're back to back in the nomination.
Yeah, you remember old Jared? He came out of Texas youth football. Remember, he'd been playing football for like 8 years before the 7th grade.
He'd been playing since he was a second grader with tackle, and came on as a 7th grader for us and called all the signals and did a great job. Got to high school, and I think that's Coach Rebarger right there, right?
It is. It is.
So and he's just a classy guy. Is Alyssa? We talked about the sister earlier, the pitcher, and it's just a good family. Good dad.
All right.
Good parents.
Let's see who else we have at number 40 here, Trent. Oh, there's a guy. How about that? Huh? How did you not pick him?
I wasn't gonna pick him. You're short.
That's a great pump fake there.
I know. 2 tall trees that are in there.
You only need one move, Trent. One move.
I know.
The pump fake.
Is your tongue hanging out? No.
I'm saying up. I always like to help them out and tell them when to jump. Up.
That's one of my favorite pictures, because you got the 2 tree trunks from prep, and first time we made it to state and forever, and it was fun.
My favorite picture is one where I'm actually jumping in the air like I used to be able to do. But all right, let's see. Neither of those are our pick for 40, though. Who's our pick?
Oh, then Paul Thomas.
Oh, Tall Paul Thomas.
All Paul Thomas.
Tall Paul Thomas. Yep. Paul Thomas, the 71 team, led them all the way to the state semifinals where they had 3 shots to beat East that just wouldn't fall in. Paul, about 6'10", in high school, great offensive player. His dad was the longtime news anchor at TV5 back when we used to have a TV5. Lloyd Thomas,
Oh, wow.
you know Lloyd.
Yeah, I didn't know that was his dad.
And I love those uniforms there, Trenner. The orange tops and the black shorts. Coach Danielson really needs to look at that. Check out that star dot in the I. That's how you dot an I, man.
Yeah,
that's
that
groovy. That's
I.
70.
Those are
all
some
right.
short.
What do we got for 41? We got the same pick. Producer Tate tells me we picked the same person. There she is. Got to be Michelle.
Yeah.
One of the greatest girls basketball players in Tiger history. Definitely on the Mount Rushmore. Great scorer. Pretty good volleyball player too. Just a great athlete. 5 foot, what? 5'10".
Yeah.
Could play inside and out.
She played much taller, like one of the nominees for 40. Definitely played much taller than what she was. She grew up with us. Great person, even greater as an adult now with her kids in Indiana. I think if that's where they are, and she was the early 90s, mid 90s. That was the heyday for girls basketball, and she was at the middle of that. So.
Yeah, I gave her that number, 41. She played for me in the 8th grade, and I put her in 41, and she kept it. So I like somebody who respects my number choices. All right, let's take a look at 42. We got the same picks at 42 here. Adam Belau, the straw that stirred the drink on the 92 team. The guy who pushed the ball, played a lot of point guard at 6'2". Lanky, wily. He's wily, Tren. What do you remember about Adam?
Word. Tough-minded kid. He's going to go to the hoop, and you better either move out of the way or take that charge because he's coming fast and hard. Coming fast and very aggressive.
Hey, it's great. He comes up state cross-country week. Great cross-country runner, too. He was tough runner for Coach James and the James gang.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what we got at number 43. We got the same pick at 43. Tommy Chick.
1,000-yard quarterback, wore number 11. Just great guy. Good kid when he was growing up. He played quarterback for us down at on downtown with all those guys. That was a good class that we had, and then they kept it going all the way through high school. Part of a good group, good little era right there.
I remember 8th grade practice with Tommy. I remember having baby Zoe at practice. I don't know why Zoe had to be at practice. Couldn't go to daycare or whatever. And so I would give Zoe to Tommy, and Tommy would carry her and take care of her so that I could yell at the team because I couldn't yell when I was holding Zoe. It would upset the baby. So Tom would do a little babysitting for me. So he's a great pick.
So my favorite story involving Zoe from that time is when we're playing in Grand Island, we go to kick off the many times against either Ball or Walnut, and all of a sudden they had to stop the game because there's a little kid on the field, and it happened you had to go tell the ref that it was your kid.
Yep, I said, give me the timeout. That's my kid. She got away from Grandma Mays.
Yeah, which from Grandma Marge.
Yep, grandma. Great grandma was in charge of her. That's the game we win. That's a few years later than Tommy. That's the game we win where we punted, and I told him the only way we can win is if we punt and they fumble it. And they did. And the Anderson kid who played hockey jumped on it. Yeah. And then we threw a little backside tight end pass to
Schmeckley.
And Schmeckley runs for the score, and we win it. Yeah, that's a little behind Tommy.
A little
All
behind,
right.
but Tom Chick, basketball wise, he was part of a really good group. He was sort of like the defender in my book. He locked guys down, him and Larson out on the edge. They had Pat Trader, the wizard of the pass, and it was just a fun time in the North Gym. It sort of got it going, and it was packed every night. It was must-see basketball when Tommy was playing.
Hey, the other thing Tom is he was a 15-foot jump shooter.
Yeah.
In an age when everybody either went to the hoop or shot threes, everybody ignored the middle range. Tommy was a 15-foot jump shooter, and that was a weapon a lot of teams didn't have. All right, let's see number 44.
Okay, we're going to have some different picks.
We got different ones? All right. Neither of us picked Nick Duvas. Nick, a great Greek-American story. Dad ran a grocery store. Nick was all-state football. He was a state champion swimmer. He was a state champion wrestler. And state champion in debate, Trenner.
Wow.
State champion in debate. Match that high school resume, or as I call it because I watch BBC all the time, CV. Match that CV.
That's 4 at least right there.
Yeah. But yet I didn't pick him for number 44. Let's see the 44 picks here. I don't know who we're going to see first. Oh, Joe Hill. Another one we didn't pick. Joe Hill, great football player, great pitcher. He pitched for that 53 state championship team, even though I don't know he was 15 years old, Trent. I think he was 14 years old pitching for the Chiefs.
Wow, that's impressive. Yeah. That's got to be a record if producer Tate would chime in. I doubt
he's the one who's told me that.
Oh, he did? Good, because Bovey would be the next closest one we had, because Bovey played.
Yeah, he didn't play at 40.
No, he was. Yeah.
All right, let's see your pick. Your pick's next, Trenner.
Yeah, my pick is next. I'm going with the battering ram.
Yeah.
When you need a tough yard, you need a tough 3 or 4 yards, this is your guy. And if you're running option at him, better get ready to get hit, because his job was to take the quarterback out, and the quarterbacks were usually on the ground. They were pitching it in a hurry.
Wasn't he in on the sack to win the Southeast game? Wasn't he in on the sack at the end?
22 Kansas. He blitzed and got the sack, and we all went nuts. And there was probably close to 10,000 people there. And then the next year he got to run the ball, and he was close to 1,000 yards. He ended up with like 996. Coach O could have just milked 4 more yards out for him, or 6 yards. We would have had our second guy, 1,000-yard guy, wouldn't be giving me a hard time saying we've only had 1,000-yard rusher.
I tell you what Josh Cole was. He was 100% football player. 100%. Oh, yeah. All right, let's see who I picked. I didn't pick him.
He'd rather hit you than look at you. Yeah.
Mark McVicker, all-state basketball player, led the Tigers to state, played at Nebraska, 3-year letterman at Nebraska, all-time leading scorer with 919 points, later tied by Bo Butenbeck, later bested by Mike Etzmiller and then Connor Creech. But Mark McVicker, when I was a kid in Hastings, and people talked about basketball, they talked about Mark McVicker. And I know Dad likes to tell stories. McVicker was like 6'2" in A-League, pitching at 12-year-olds from a mound that was only like 48 feet away. Well, he was a dominating force.
Probably 46 feet, and that would not be fun. So
no, it wasn't fun. Dad taught all his kids to bunt. He always tells the story. He taught them all to bunt because that was the only thing they were going to get done against McVicker. All right, are we going to 45?
Probably throwing missiles.
He
probably
was.
Just bringing heat. So,
is this both of our picks, Wayne Weber?
Yes. Can't go against Wayne Weber. Quarterback?
No.
Oh, he wasn't? Oh, I was wrong. What was he?
Yeah, quarterback. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Run and throw option. All-state quarterback. with that 1962 team, finished second in the state. They beat everybody but North Platte, who they lost to twice. The second time, a 14-13 heartbreaker in the Big Ten playoff. Yeah, Wayne Weber was what made that team work. He went down to Nebraska, played on Devaney's earliest teams, was a backup quarterback down there, and just kind of all-around athlete for them. I got to meet him only once before he died here in the last couple of years. Great man, just a really great Hastings Tiger.
Didn't they play that on Thanksgiving weekend? Or am I thinking of another Big Ten title game?
It wouldn't have been quite that late. In 1962, they probably played it around November 15th. I mean, still later than we're used to playing games.
So maybe that was like 50, maybe 56 or 54 when Osborne, that I remember they played a game
against McCook. I don't know if it would have been that late, but it would have been close to Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I just remember reading that during my time. So
Wayne Weber, our pick at 45. And Tren, just teasing it for the folks, you're saying that next week you've got some amazing picks for 46 through 50. Is that true? 46 through 49?
I had a little free time yesterday when we were giving the test. So I'm coming out I'm coming out with the 24-inch pythons. I've got some good ones, and they will not match yours at all. I'm not going with top player. I'm going with state champions.
All right. Well, you'll be wrong then, but the people should tune in to watch it.
Okay.
All right, Trenner. Time to wrap it up. Another tight show from us. That was our goal. Tight show. We got the tight show, and you get the last word. What do you think?
Well, go Tigers. Let's end the season with a W. Good luck to the cross country. We got theaters coming up. We'll have some info on that in a few weeks. Some inside info and some pictures. And go Tigers. Let's get some W's.
Let's have a great Tiger weekend. See you next week, folks.